staring at me, so we're going to get started. Sorry to those of you who don't have seats. There's one here.
There's like
there are some
3 in the back.
There's one kind of in the middle if you do want to sit, but hopefully you've been sitting all day and you prefer to stand. I am Andy Kennedy, and you are at Talking Green, What's Up with Solar. I am the program director of the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, and this is our longest standing program. It actually predates the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council. How many of you are on our mailing list? So I would urge you to go to YVSC.org and sign up so that you can hear more about what we do, all the different programs that we do. Staff that's here, Suzie Romig, our Energy Outreach Coordinator. She's been working her tail off on getting our newest program out and about. In fact, it's, the Sensible Energy program is so well publicized, thanks to Suzie, that we've had to bring up some energy auditors from Summit County, right? Summit to continue our this program just in the next month or so. And then Cameron in the back, she is our digger. Hi. She's our newest addition to YVSC. We're really psyched to have a new grad helping us connect to the younger generation and keeping us in line and keeping us focused. We can't do, board members. We have an advisory board over there somewhere. Sam, raise your hand. Thank you. Yeah, Megan. Can't do this without our staff and board, obviously. And then sponsors, obviously our local, or our today's sponsor, our host is Moots. This is such a cool venue for us, brand new opportunity for us to pair up with Moots. And Butcher Knife Brewing, providing the beer. Everybody, I'm sure that's why there's so many of you here. So thank you. And then a Clean Energy Collective. And their stuff is here. It's the Community Solar Array. They'll be speaking more about that. And then our all year long program sponsors: New Power Fund, Homelink Magazine, Steamboat Magazine, and Mountain Resorts. So thank you to our sponsors. A few housekeeping announcements. We have an event on Thursday. It's our last Retree event of the year. It's a repurposed art workshop at the Depot, Thursday from 4 to 6. It's for families. It's going to be a really fun event, so look for that. Sign up with the Arts Council, not with us. And then we have Zero Waste for Food Professionals, December 7th and 8th. And then we can't do what we do. We have a really small budget. We can't do what we do without donations. So this is giving season, so here's my ask. Colorado Gives Day is December 8th, or 7th?
Yeah, 8th.
Thank you. It's you can actually pre-schedule your donation, so you don't have to even worry about what day it is. And then Amazon Smile, who's familiar with Amazon Smile? Great. So for those of you who aren't, which is like 90% of the room, Amazon will donate a portion of whatever you purchase on Amazon to your nonprofit of choice. So you go to Amazon Smile, you pick the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, and then every time you shop on Amazon, we get $1 or $2. So that's a really easy way to give without affecting your own budget. And then, of course, we have a donation jar in the back as well. And just to give you a warning at the end, we are still looking for ideas for 2016. So Cameron's going to pass out some Talking Green surveys at the end. If you'd like to give us some input, we'd love for that. And then Susie's going to announce our speakers today. Have I forgotten anything?
Let's start the show with a 4-minute video. Cameron, our whiz tech kid, can start that up for us. We'll use the AV we have here.
Hi, and welcome back to the Solar Trip. We are still driving from coast to coast to see how solar energy is working for America.
This is from Colorado Solar Energy
and hello to the
Industry
Rockies
Association.
as we head to our final destination of sunny California. Enjoy the ride. I'm here at Denver International Airport. Regan, how much energy is this producing?
It's enough to take care of 3,000 homes over the course of a year.
Wow.
You know, I think solar energy is an opportunity to change how we do business going into the future.
We have 50 acres of panels that add up to 2 megawatts, one of the largest systems on the university campus.
Thomas comes from Germany and is bringing a different perspective to Fort Collins on
Solar energy is an incredible success story in Germany. It created already over 300,000 jobs within the last 10 years. You have to get the politicians And then you can create an enormous success story, much bigger than the one you have in Germany.
Tell me a little bit about the panels that are up here on the roof.
There are 112 solar panels.
100% of the energy used at this property comes from either solar or wind.
The homes behind me are single-family production-built homes that come standard with solar. So the home up solar electricity as well as solar hot water.
Solar energy is just taking advantage of what's out there. Nobody's charging you for it. It's a mature technology, especially the solar thermal. Why not use it?
What we got here is a 180 kW array down on the Reno Event Center. Together, these systems produce 25% of the power on a year-round basis and 100% of the power for our NBA.
These dishes are concentrated solar power, enough for a whole town.
This array is almost 1 megawatt solar generation. We move water from the California aqueduct to the farmers, and we can avoid the expensive utility costs.
Solar energy is the future, and here at AT&T Park with the San Francisco Giants, we're about embracing the future. We're about clean energy. We're about technology. Solar combines those two things.
Well, go Giants.
Go Giants.
This gas station has gone solar. They've installed 90 solar panels up there on the roof, and it's creating enough to power 2 to 3 average American homes. It's pretty neat.
It's like the wheel, and solar thermal is that simple and very efficient. I just realized that solar is the answer to most of the Earth's problems.
I'm here in spectacular Napa with TJ. TJ, tell me a little bit about the panels behind us.
Annually, 255,000 kilowatts. It's enough energy to make 300,000 bottles of wine. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, we did it. 4,436.2 glorious miles across 15 states. On our journey, I think that we have proved that solar energy has come a long way too. Solar really is working for America, whether it be just a few panels on a homeowner's roof or a huge array that can power a whole town. Now, that's almost it for the solar road trip. But I have one more major announcement. I'm about to unveil the Solar Generation Road Trip hat.
Hey, it's a great hat.
Now, as many of you know, you can win one of these wonderful hats by being one of our first 10 people to correctly answer our solar quiz. All you have to do is go on to solargenerationusa.org. The question is, which country manufactures most of the world's silicon? So thank you, goodbye, good luck, go solar.
Okay, so let's localize our solar. We're going to have 5 speakers tonight. The first is Matt, the owner of Brightside Solar. And I've just got a couple of sentences to say about Matt. Matt, come on up here! And Cameron's going to start his program. Matt earned his Bachelor's of Science degree from Duke University. He's a graduate of Solar Energy International, and he's certified as a PV installation professional. So Matt's going to tell us about residential solar.
You bet. Thanks, Susie.
I can't,
Or do you need to do that?
there's not a window, so if you want to look at your camera.
Where do I do that? Awesome. Cool. How's everybody tonight? Good. Thanks for joining us. It's cool that so many people have a real interest in learning about solar, particularly how it's been playing out here in the Northwest Colorado and Yampa Valley. Glad to see everybody. Before we get started, I'd like to take a minute, though, to again thank all the folks that had an integral part in putting together this event tonight, most notably the Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, Andy and Susie and Cameron here, so thanks to them, and of course to Moots for putting on a good venue for us and allowing us to learn a little bit about their system and how it's been performing for the past couple of years. And last but not least, the benevolent brew benefactors of Butcher Knife Brewery. You guys rock. Thanks for that. So I'm here to speak ultimately about residential solar in the Yampa Valley. And what I'd like to talk about is 3 different areas. First and foremost, I want to talk to you about learning how to manage a computer. But first one I want to talk about is levelized cost of energy and how systems that we're putting in for the residential and small commercial are actually, in fact, beating the utility rates today. I'll also talk briefly about, and confirm for you that if you put in solar systems, you're not going to only see a strong return on investment, but you're going to see potentially increased property values. And then lastly, I'd like to talk about, I think, one of the best benefits of putting in residential or small commercial solar in the way of energy security. And I'll finish up with a quick little speak about one of our systems that we have going right now that uses some of these new technologies. Thank you, madam. So, levelized cost of energy. If Brightside Solar were to put in a system for you today, 10 kilowatt or more, you could see not only a good return on your investment of somewhere like 7 to 8 years, where you can get a payback that quickly. More importantly, though, you'd see what's called levelized cost of energy of 9.3 cents a kilowatt hour. What a levelized cost of energy is, we're taking all of your out-of-pocket expenses, your upfront costs, we're taking all of your lifetime O&M costs, operations and maintenance, and an inverter replacement about halfway through the lifetime of the system and accounting for all of that. Then we're taking what we predict for your energy production for that system and dividing that out and coming out to approximately 9.3 cents a kilowatt hour. Why is that important? Well, because today, and this is not bashing the utility, but their rate is listed at, and correct me if I'm wrong, Megan, but I think it's 8.215 cents a kilowatt hour. If you take, though, that utility bill at 8.215 and add in some of the surcharges, such as the Steamboat franchise fee, your XL power consumer charge, I think it's called, and, of course, taxes, you're now looking at somewhere around 9.4, 9.5 to 10 cents a kilowatt hour for the electricity you're paying for today from the utility. You put in a 10 kilowatt system at our prices, you're going to be able to have your cost of electricity stay at 9.3 cents through the lifetime of that system. So if you anticipate that utility rates might increase in the next 25 years, could happen, right? We might actually have to pay more for our utility, electricity. This could prove as a good hedge against that inflation. How are we doing, Elizabeth? By putting in solar electric on your home or a small business, you also have the added benefit that it's going to increase the value of that property. Recently, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, which is managed by the University of California in Berkeley for the Department of Energy, they released a study that they put out which looked at the sale of homes that had solar on them compared to homes that don't have solar on them. And what they found in 6 different states is that invariably, if you have solar on your home, you're going to have that home appraised and sell for a premium. It makes sense, guys. You're putting a solar, you're putting an electric generator on your home. That has real value to it. Just like granite countertops may have real value, and certainly a new bathroom does, right? So by putting on solar onto your home or onto your business, you're going to see an increase in the value of that property. I think the key piece to doing solar for yourself ultimately rests today in the fact that you are gaining energy security. And what do I mean by that? Well, the components that we're putting into play in these systems ultimately allow you to have energy storage or be able to access your energy that the solar panels are producing so that you can then power up critical loads. SMA is a German manufacturer of inverters. Inverters are the piece of equipment that converts the DC electricity on the solar end, or the solar panels, to the AC format we use in the home or in our business. SMA has come out with a functionality in their inverters called Secure Power Supply. And what's really cool about this is that when the utility goes down and you don't have power, you can still access the energy that's coming from those solar panels and do it legally and safely. The inverters are UL listed to disconnect from the utility to protect the linemen who may be in the area having to service those utility lines. But having an SMA inverter allows you to still harness that electricity from your solar panels during the daylight hours. That's a critical piece to it. And still power up things such as communications. You can power up your cell phone, you can power up your router, your laptop, even your TV to keep track of what the heck's happening out there that caused my electricity to go down, and when's it going to come back on. So that's one great way to have some security that you don't necessarily get from being tied either to the utility or, in the other instance, of the solar garden. And don't get me wrong here, I'm a big proponent of solar gardens. Community gardens are a great thing, and I think they have a profound importance in terms of our national renewable portfolio. They're a great resource for us, and there are a lot of people who it makes sense for. But if you have the solar resource and the space to put in your own solar system, you gain the added advantage of having power all the time. You can do it with these inverters. You also can do it with batteries, which I'll speak to in just a minute. Another cool thing about the equipment that we're using is that nowadays you can monitor and keep track of your energy production to the minute. So not only can you see what you're producing, but you also can see what you're using, which is really quite helpful to a lot of us. The other neat thing about these inverters is they allow the installers and the homeowner to access that information not just on-site but remotely through laptops or mobile devices. And the most important piece to that is that ultimately we, the homeowner and or business owner and the installer, can monitor to the minute and verify that the system is operating optimally. If it's not, we get notification and we can quickly dispatch team members to go out and rectify any problem with the system, minimizing the downtime that you might have with your system. It's a good thing. It's telling me my 10 minutes is up. Many of you probably heard about the new Tesla battery that Tesla Motors just recently introduced to the world. It sounds like a really pretty cool concept. Energy storage is critical, and it's going to continue to grow throughout society, and we're going to need to figure out ways we can implement it into homes and into businesses. The Tesla battery I want to speak to very quickly, just because a lot of people have questions about it. I think it's a pretty cool and sexy device, but the reality of it is, in terms of cost right now, they're just not competitive enough. Their prices are probably twice, if not more, than what we are having to charge a homeowner or a business owner for conventional batteries. Energy storage, again, is critical. It's particularly important for folks who just cannot be without power. There's a lot of different instances where that might apply. And with energy storage, with batteries in particular, you can always ensure that you're going to be able to power up your critical loads all the time. The other advantage to battery or energy storage is that in certain markets, such as California, where utilities have time of use structures, it really plays into helping define a good return on your investment. And the way that works is if, say in California, where the utilities have rates that fluctuate through the course of the day, businesses will be operating, people are starting to cool homes down with their air conditioning in the afternoon in anticipation of the homeowner coming home. They're getting a huge load in the late afternoons. If you have solar that is powering up batteries, you ultimately can charge up those batteries in the morning time in the early afternoon, and then when those rates spike up to sometimes 4 or 5 times the amount of the base rate that you normally pay for your kilowatt hour, you can disconnect from the utility and then just draw from the batteries. So in certain markets, it really does have a viable application. Right now, Brightside Solar puts in both off-grid and grid tie units. Some of the grid tie units that we put in are what we call grid tie with battery backup. A couple months longer than a year, we put in a system out towards Oak Creek, which is a 6 kilowatt system. These are 2 3 kilowatt solar panels on poles that are backed by a 35 kilowatt battery. This solar system and the battery support all of the electrical loads of that home. That's a 25 square foot contemporary home. Nicely built, highly energy efficient, but all of the electrical needs are met by the solar and that battery 100%. Well, not 100%. There's also a generator on there that I'll mention here. We'll look at a graph here in a second and see how much production that has. But the key piece is you can run a regular home with all the accoutrements and niceties that you would require in a standard home, just with solar. Pretty cool stuff. That home itself, I don't know if you all will be able to see this from back in the back, but there's 2 graphs here. As I mentioned, we have the capacity now to monitor these systems to the minute. This is this afternoon. I went and checked out that system at 106, and here it shows me that the system was producing 100, or the battery was state of charge is 100%. So fully charged, and the system's operating optimally, where right now the load is very minimal, but the solar is providing enough to meet the load and keep a nice trickle charge on the battery. Down here is a secondary graph or piece of information that I have that shows me the annual output of that system. The green is the solar, the black is the load from the house, the energy need, and down here in red is what the generator, which is supporting that battery, has been asked to produce in the way of energy. Approximately 10% of all the power came from the generator. The thing that's really interesting to me, though, is that generator, it's a 14 kilowatt generator, only ran for 24 hours in the whole year. That's it. So all of their energy needs are really being met from the solar. And these guys will receive, see a return on that investment in probably about 9 to 10 years. It's a pretty quick process for them. That's about all I have. I appreciate everyone coming out. Does anyone have any questions at this moment? Yes?
Are they heating with electric in these houses or not?
No. It's a very good question. These guys heat with propane, I'm guessing, and they have a beautiful fireplace that they use, wood and that kind of stuff. As soon as you start heating, yes sir, as soon as you start heating with electric, we're in a whole different ballgame. But for a conventional home that has normal propane heating, that kind of stuff, it works well. Yes, sir?
Curious what the financial assumptions were for the 9.5 cents kilowatt hour. Tax credit included?
Oh, without a doubt.
Cost
and
of
so,
money and
Megan Moore-Kemp here from the Apple Valley Electric will speak to, she'll speak to the increased system sizes. And then Sam Jones is going to talk briefly about the federal tax credits that are available. But yes, sir, that 9.3 assumes that you're eligible for the tax credit. If that goes away, I'm not going to be as competitive as I am today. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What's the lifetime of these systems you're talking about, and does that vary depending on where you are?
It doesn't really vary, I don't think, on base where you are. Great question. The key piece, and the way we forecast our financial modeling for these systems is based on usually a 25-year system life. And the reason for that is because most of the equipment, most importantly the solar panels, are warrantied out that far now. Any other, yes ma'am?
That 25-year life, that doesn't include batteries, does it?
No, batteries, if you take care of them well, we can see some folks can get out to about 10 years on that. Yeah.
And the inverter, you said that?
The inverter we see usually, we project that it will probably be need to replace about anywhere between 12 to 15 years. Yeah, you bet. Any other questions? All right. Again, my name is Matt. I'll be here for the rest of the evening. If anyone wants to approach me or ask any other questions, I'm certainly available. Again, thanks for your time and interest.